Hey guys, this is The Bit, and I'm going to be recording my Let's Play of Crash Team Racing for the PlayStation 1. Just a couple of things to note. I am running this game on an emulator because I don't know how to record my PlayStation 2. But anyway, if there's any frame skipping or anything looks slightly off, that will be why, because it's on emulator, but it should be fine for the most part. Other things to note, some of the cutscenes don't really display properly on the emulator, so I will not be showing any of them, but they're pretty easy to find on YouTube, so if you're that curious, you can just look them up. They're honestly not super interesting. There's not really a heavy plot in this game. And oh, missed that easy shortcut, but yeah, it's fine. It's not a big deal. I promise I'll get it next time. But anyway, this is one of my favorite games. I've been playing this game for basically my entire life. I got it when I was very young for the PlayStation 1, and I've had it for pretty much ever since then. It's ever since I was about 2 or 3 years old, I think. But anyway, yeah, this is Crash Team Racing. So if you're new to this game, that gray box in the bottom right corner, if you see it filling up with like green and red lines. So what that is the boosting system. So basically every time you do a drift or a power slide, the gauge will start to fill up. Now you want to press the boost button when the gauge is as filled up as possible, and this will give you the biggest boost. This, I mean, it just makes you go faster, which everyone wants to go faster, right? So yeah, that's basically what that is. Also, in the bottom corner, you'll notice there's a mini-map, which displays where all the racers are on the racetrack. And my, well, on the world map here, on the level select, my character Crash will be displayed as a triangle. But once you get into like an actual race, I will be a blinking blue circle, and it'll be bigger than the other vehicles. So this is the second track in the game. I kind of talked over the first track, that's my fault, but this is the second track in the game. This is Rouge Tubes, and this is actually the boss course for this world. Basically, in each world you do 4 races, and then you race the boss. And the boss is always on one of the 4 tracks of that world. So the game lets you get comfortable with each track before you have to race the boss, which I think is kind of nice. Yeah, I mean, it's not super difficult, but then again, I have been playing it for quite a long time, and I might look like I know what I'm doing, but honestly, I'm pretty average at this game. There are plenty of much better players at this game than me, but I do my best, so certainly not a pro, even though a newcomer to this game might think that I am. Yeah, as you can see on the top left corner, there is a time, which, you know, the time function isn't really useful in single player story mode. The only time when the time is, you know, serving a purpose is during time trial mode, which I do plan to do after I 100% the story mode. So if you're interested, you can stay tuned for that. Other things to note, there are fruit at the top of the screen, and each fruit will speed up your car a little bit. So every time you collect one fruit, it boosts your car by a slight bit faster. So when you're at 10 fruit, you're as fast as you can go. Um, Other things to note, the jumping physics in this game are rather interesting, actually. When you jump, you maintain all of your speed, and I skipped that level intro, but don't worry about that. I'll be more careful about that in the future. But back to jumping. So I think I do it at the end of this race here. But after, a downhill segment, you just jump a bunch of times, and what that does is it maintains your momentum better. And that's not a bug, that's an implemented feature. Although I do believe that it's a little bit powerful, so it will probably be removed in the remake of this game, which I actually don't know if I've talked about yet. This game is being remade by Beanox Studios, I believe is what they're called, and it's going to release in June this year. And that's part of the reason why I'm playing this game now, because the remaster is coming out, and I want to be prepared for that. And I want you guys to be prepared for that too. So yeah, I do think that the jumping, the speed preservation method by jumping is probably going to be removed, or at least toned down, which is a little bit unfortunate, but that I guess makes it more accessible for new players. Yeah, I mean, there's also this system called the boost reserves, which I honestly don't fully understand, but I can kind of explain it to you guys. So every time the box in the bottom right corner fills all the way and I boost from it, it fills up a little bit of my boost reserves. And what that will do is, if I collect enough boost reserves, I can maintain a higher speed while unboosted. So if you were to fill up that boost reserves gauge all the way, you can maintain maximum speed without boosting at all. So that adds a layer of complexity to this game, which I have honestly never really dove into, but I may do that in the future, I guess. Other than that, there's items, right? What arcade racing game is complete without its items? So unlike Mario Kart, the computer racers in this game don't actually use items if they're not nearby you. So for example, Cortex right there, the guy with the red car, if he ever gets like a TNT crate or a vial, he will never drop that unless I can see him on the screen. Now, this is good because then the track stays clear, clear of most obstacles. So the only thing that would be placed on the track is if I got an item and I placed it myself. So that's why you probably won't see me using items often until at least like the third lap, because any items that are placed down just get in the way. And I don't really want to have to deal with obstacles, it just slows things down. So yeah, this track is Sewer Speedways. This actually was my favorite track when I was younger. I don't really know if it's still my favorite, but it's a good track, it's a classic. I'm sure, well, there's some interesting things going on with that like half pipe because we're in the sewers. Basically you can jump off all the walls in that previous section and hit, but yeah, in that tunnel segment where it is like a full circle and you can ride up the wall, you actually can go faster if you're on that wall and driving down a bit. It treats it like a downhill slope, which makes sense, and kind of lost my train of thought. Oh, okay, so the bosses, right? I mentioned them earlier. At the end of the 4th race of each world, the boss will talk to you, and they'll be like, "Oh, you're nothing at racing. Oh, I can beat you easy." And so you race them, and well, that's essentially it. You race them, and your goal obviously is to beat them. And the intro cutscene would normally have been played now, but it didn't because I'm not including the cutscenes. So anyway, this is the first boss. This is Ripperoo. I believe he is a kangaroo, and that's why he's called Ripperoo. And he's kind of crazy, so he's in like a straight jacket, and he drives with his feet, which I actually think is pretty funny. I don't know why he's blue, but you know, details. Who cares about the small details? So I'm gonna be trying to be a little bit faster during the boss races. Just put as much space between myself and them as possible, because the thing about the boss characters is that unlike the normal computer racers, they will place items, and they will place an infinite amount of items. Now this boss has infinite TNT crates, which if you're in front of him, it doesn't really do anything. So all you have to do is just kind of get in front of him and then stay in front of him, and you can beat him. Nonetheless, still a fun race. I've been taking the finishing turn much sharper because, like I said, I just want to put space between me and him so that I can not have to deal with those TNT crates. I'm about to finish this race here, and what would happen after this is a cutscene will play, and the boss will say, "Oh, you beat me after all. Here's a key." So you use those keys to open the doors in the level select. And after you've gathered all of the keys, then you're able to race the final boss in the game. And that's about it. I mean, I have not much else to say for this episode. We're nearing the end. I'll be getting close to a save point, and be saving my game, and then that'll be that. Thanks guys for watching. Let me know if there's any feedback that you have. Put it in the comments. Leave a like, and yeah, I'll see you guys all next time.